Today we're going to take a little bit of an adventure to Walker Ranch, which is just right outside of Boulder. And if there's any ranch that's a microcosm of Colorado, from Native Americans to mining to just finding a way to make it, the Walker family at the Walker Ranch is that story. All right. Before we get going into the aquarium here, I always like to remind people that we do own a real estate company and Haley's a lender. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the area, we'd love to help. 7.5 miles west of the vibrant city of Boulder, Colorado, nestled high in the foothills of the Rockies, lies a place seemingly untouched by time. This is Walker Ranch, a sprawling 2,028-acre testament of a bygone era, a living chronicle of self-sufficiency, industry, and the enduring relationship between people and the land. Our story begins in 1869, when a man named James A. Walker, weakened by yellow fever, sought refuge in the crisp mountain air. Like so many people, he thought the Rocky Mountains could heal me. He yearned for a glimpse of the native peoples before what he believed was his imminent demise. Fate led him to an Arapahoe encampment west of Boulder. This part's really cool, because James thought he was going to die. He finds this Arapahoe camp, and amidst the ancient wisdom of the Arapahoe, a remarkable recovery took hold. The mountain air, traditional herbs, and the skilled care he received from the Arapahoe proved to be his salvation. Revitalized, Walker stayed in the area, working as a farmhand. His summers often spent near the same Arapahoe campsite that had nursed him back to health. And if you look at the National Register of Historic Places, as this is a landmark, it's documented in there that Arapahoe artifacts were actually recovered from this site. Although there's something of huge significance here, when the land was later being plowed, they found all sorts of Arapahoe artifacts in this area, so that's pretty cool. Back to Walker himself. Driven by the promise of the land, he eventually filed a homestead claim, and by 1883, he and his wife Fidelia, along with their son William, had built a new ranch home, leaving behind the rough log cabin that had once served as a mountain supply store. The house stands today as a central piece of a remarkable ranch complex. 14 well-preserved structures that offer a glimpse into the organized life of a 19th century and early 20th century homestead. This sturdy log and frame construction speaks volumes about the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the era. I mean, I'm in real estate, and some of this new construction they're building now is falling down several years later. So the fact that these structures stand up through time is significant and underscores the hardiness that this generation had. Beyond the domestic cluster, the landscape holds further secrets. Scattered across the 2,000 plus acres are the silent ruins of a sawmill, the remnants of the ambitious Langridge cyanide mill, which we're going to talk about, and other physical echoes of Walker Ranch's diverse past. These are not just isolated relics. They paint a picture of a self-sufficient enterprise, a true homestead, so to speak, where logging, ranching, and even mining played their part in allowing this homestead to survive the test of time. But life on the frontier was not without its challenges. As idyllic as a homestead seems to us now, this was a rough life that people were living up in elevation. I mean, spanning from 6,000 to 8,000 feet in elevation, this homestead suffered a lot of financial hardship and the burden of medical cost which actually forced Walker to sell or lease portions of his land and to take on various jobs just to stay afloat. But this is a guy that had beaten death already. There was nothing that was going to stop him from being in the spot that was the very medicine that soothed his soul. A turning point arrived in 1894, which is a significant time period here in Colorado because a lot of the mining activity is really picking up. Gold is discovered just on the other side of the mountain in Gold Hill, and this brought with it some intriguing propositions. One from England proved to be significant. Lord Bertie Langridge, Sir James Outram, and Mr. Whittier, what English names, proposed a significant mineral contract to extract gold from the Langridge Dike Formation using a new cyanide process. Sounds super healthy for the land, huh? Though it wasn't really successful. The Langridge cyanide mill operated for only a short time, ceasing its work in 1907. The initial payment from these English investors provided Walker with the financial lifeline he desperately needed. He paid off his debts and remarkably used the funds to expand his Walker Ranch holdings, making it an even bigger ranch. Simultaneously, Walker demonstrated his forward-thinking approach to ranching, introducing hardy Galloway cattle bred for high altitudes. These resilient animals thrived in challenging environments and became the backbone of the Walker Ranch operation. And he really introduced a whole different style of ranching and intensive grazing that wasn't widely practiced here in Colorado yet. Under the stewardship of his son, William Walker, the ranch eventually grew to encompass 6,000 acres by 1929. The Walker family's ranching era continued until 1950, leaving an indelible mark on this land. Today, the legacy of the Walker family endures. Mrs. Lita Daniels, the granddaughter of James and Fidelia Walker, still resides on a portion of the original ranch, a living link to the past. What makes Walker Ranch truly exceptional is the remarkable continuity of land use and ownership, and the preservation of the significant 2,000-acre parcel. Here, the valley landscape retains its integrity, bearing the marks of historic use, but largely untouched by modern development, which is a welcome sight from the Denver and Boulder metro that lay right below this ranch. The placement of the buildings on the ranch, coupled with the archaeological remnants of other structures, speaks to the self-reliance of these early homesteads and ranches. Walker Ranch offers invaluable insights into the challenges and triumphs of high country living in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. I mean, today we complain about everything. Here, they're faced with financial hardship. They don't have any modern amenities. The guy's almost dead. And yet, his resilience perseveres, which I find astounding and amazing. Situations at elevations from 6,700 to 8,200 feet, Walker Ranch offers breathtaking panoramic views. The landscape itself, a character in this story, defined by open meadows, dense forest, and the dramatic volcanic intrusion known as the Langridge Dike, which is, of course, where they were looking for gold. South Boulder Creek, a vital source of life, flows along its southern edge, supporting a rich array of wildlife, including deer, elk, mountain lion, and bear. Despite its proximity to the bustling Boulder-Denver metro, a profound sense of historic landscape and continuity prevails at Walker Ranch. Apart from a few unobtrusive corrugated metal culverts and an electric transmission line, the nominated area remains free from modern intrusions. Even the surrounding valley outside the immediate ranch boundaries retains its historic character, with only a handful of well-spaced, low-scale contemporary houses visible east of Flagstaff Road. Access to this remarkable place is via Flagstaff Road, also known as Bear Canyon Road, a route that dates back to the 1860s and remarkably remains in its original alignment. The Walker Ranch, a rural cultural resource of immense significance, offers a vital link to Colorado's past. It is a place where the stories of homesteaders, ranchers, miners, and even the indigenous Arapahoe converge, painting a rich and enduring portrait of the American West. Here, the land itself speaks, whispering tales of self-sufficiency, resilience, and the timeless connection between humanity and the natural world.